Hey, we're doing tarot tonight. So tune in. We'll probably pull the cards out pretty soon here, but first we're gonna have to roll some ads inevitably. And of course, nobody's going to see this message because there's already ads rolling. So I suppose I'm talking to the replays when I say, I'm so sorry, I'm about to roll ads. You know how it is. It's just Twitch. You can talk to Jeffrey Bezos. In the meantime, don't mind the 3 minutes. Be back in a Did we get a house full of lurkers? What's going on? Oh, hey. Yeah, you too. It's been a minute since I've seen you, probably since the summertime, right? Yeah, it took, oh no, you've only been following since, or wait, whoa, long year, huh? Um, sorry, I was looking at your account created and following dates side by side and got very confused by the timeline. 2023 is effectively almost over in the calendar sense, but of course we have until Aries season for it to be the new year, new zodiac cycle, right? So I never celebrate or think of this as the end of the year personally. I'm actually going to use a new tarot deck tonight, but I figured we could chat and catch up a little bit and do a little in case you missed it. I'm doing a sale, $10 off. It's the Halloween sale. I don't like calling it a sale. It's funny that I just did because it's been a special. For some reason, I said sale, and then I immediately think of that song by AWOL Nation, if that means anything to anyone. So $10 off Halloween Oracle and Demon Oracle when you book in the next 24 hours. Prices as marked. So you can do that. And I also did a little collective reading today. During the day, I might start doing tarot during the day and be a day walker. I'm kind of a day walker now. Took a tea break, changed my entire life. I'm trying to be more of a day walker, but here we are, streaming before midnight. I'm impressed with that, don't you think? So I made tarot during the day. I used to always say, I work at night, I work at night. Well, guess what? It still works during the day, right? Indeed, it does. So do I. Here we go. This is a little collective Halloween Oracle message. Now we are caught up, and then I can tell you about this new deck I have. I have 420 followers. Thank you to every single one of them, but especially 420. Um, got a new deck that we're going to use tonight, and it was kind of a cool story the way that I acquired this one because I love a used deck. So I was out to eat one day and met a woman who was waiting, I should say, and we got to talking about tarot and astrology, and she wanted to show me this deck, and it was familiar to me because I had seen it in a shop when I was browsing decks before. So when she went to hand it to me, and I said, "Oh, I recognize this. I almost got this deck." She just told me I could have it and gave it to me in this little satchel and everything. So I decided because she is a Reiki master that this deck would be for what needs to be removed energetically from your life. So when we do our collective message in tarot tonight, I'm using this deck for the first time. I always give the person who gifted me a deck a reading first, and then usually I give myself a reading, which I did not give myself one of these yet. Maybe I ought to. But I guess I'll get it with the collective, right? So we're gonna try these out. I've used them once before, but it went really well. It was very cool. So other than that, I don't think there's any other um, I think once they're in my hands, they're being blessed because I'm very conscious of how I think when I'm doing things. And if I'm being unconscious in my thinking, I stop what I'm doing, right? I consciously try to put intentions into things. So, yes, once they're in my hands, I feel like they were blessed when they were handed to me and blessed when they landed in my hands. That's how I would say it. I didn't smudge them or anything because I kind of like use decks. I think that other people help interpret the cards more than booklets do, and I don't like to just get rid of people's energy when it comes to magic because I believe that practitioners had these cards before me. So this is my Reiki deck because I got them from a Reiki master. So I bless them, I don't cleanse them. You know what I'm saying? Um, I was gonna be in chat mode for a minute, not sure if anybody had any other questions before we get into tarot. I usually do 20 minutes of chat, but it seems like very lurky tonight, so we'll see if anybody decides to ask any questions. Do you see Kali back here? Finally got her back. She's been traveling alongside me for many years now because she is shared. Yeah, hi, hi, hi. I'm gonna try to be here more now. I was debating on whether or not I was going to keep streaming, and the debate is over. I'm going to keep streaming, and we're not going to just read books. It got very boring after 2 chapters. I think I might still do some book reading, but it will be shorter excerpt or more spiritual based books, which I was leaning away from, but I realized that there's no reason to lean away from. We're back. We're doing tarot tonight, just not yet. We're doing chat mode first. Um, I don't want to start channeling as soon as I get on here because that's why I kind of stopped doing what I was doing. I got a little self conscious about how deep my gifts are and how easily I can practice and how kind of connected everything got and we all witnessed it happen. So I was like, I'm taking a break. And this time I took an even longer break with all the changes. And, like I said, I tried to do the reading, but it just wasn't really popping. Like, let's be real. The first chapter was like amazing. Second chapter, nobody even really tuned in. And I didn't even feel like reading the third chapter, probably because it's a book I already read. So even though I took a vote on the book, it was mostly people on Instagram who voted anyways. We're gonna do a different book when we get back to the reading sessions. Just FYI, we are dropping Sookie Stackhouse. We love her, but it was just not the vibe to have to sit there and criticize Charlene Harris. We're gonna just read spiritual textbooks. Like Be Here Now. We should finish that. And the Bhagavad, I don't know how to say it. I can never remember the word Bhagavad Gita. Um, yeah, I would get so lost if I even did for 1 second. You're right. I'd let myself get lost. I'd go in and just do, and it's like crazy. I don't even want to be so accessible to people, but it was so much fun, kind of, to know what people were eating when they watched my stream. It was pretty wild. Unless everyone on the internet lied, that'd be kind of even weirder, right? But no, my gifts are my gifts. And after I took a month off of, I took a tea break and I took like a tarot and tolerance, right? Um, I took time off of it because I was questioning my own beliefs, my own spiritual practices. I was questioning everything I was doing, going through transitions. And when I came back to uh, Mary Jane, it was like, okay, yeah, this is still cool. Let's be real. But it's not my full time medication anymore, right? But still a necessary medication. Okay, so you can hear me if I unplug my mic, but I'm going to plug my mic back in. This is for all my subscribers out there. Thank you so much for listening to all this behind the scenes content that you get by subscribing to my channel, as well as the love and support that you're showing me by doing it. It's 4:20 on the clock when I said that, so I think it's just a coincidence. Yeah, no, the sound is, but hold on. Yeah, no, yeah. What the fuck? Is that not weird? The sound just cut out midstream, probably because I started talking about my period in front of a bot. That is bizarre. Okay, well, do you want to come back to just chatting mode or tarot mode? And who's even hearing this right now because I'm rolling ads? Yay. I just had to unplug it and plug it back in for some reason midstream. So do we want chat mode or tarot mode when the ads are over, by the way? It's like I was just catching people up, letting people know about the little special going on for Halloween, which is going to last through tomorrow. Dios de los Muertos, $10 off Halloween Oracle and Demon Oracle readings. Yes, ma'am. Um, so what are we in the mood for, y'all? If you can hear me, because everyone's saying I can hear you now. Good. What do we want to do in 1 minute and 15 seconds? Tarot or chatting? Maybe they can't hear me anymore because the ads kicked in. I'm gonna type it and then it's gonna be like really embarrassing when no one responds. Okay, cool. Thank you. Finally. God damn. You say that shit to my face, okay? Chatting is cool. Yeah, we'll chat for a little bit before tarot. That was the plan originally, but then the mic thing happened, so I was just unplugging stuff and figured I'd roll ads while I did it. Ah, no, you're fine. You're not the only one here. You're just the only one who cares. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm in my feels because it's that time of the month, yo. Leave me alone, but also, let's go. Okay, ad's almost over. We're gonna go back to chat mode. It's been declared and probably necessary. Okay, we're back for a little bit before we do tarot. Um, we were talking about spirituality. So I took a tea break, right? Tolerance and tarot. This is what I was saying when we went mute. And when I came back to both, I liked them, saw the benefits to them immediately still. And not just the benefits, but again, with my gifts being so strong, I started to question everything around me, you know. Um, and that's not a good state to be in. So that's why I took a break from tarot. But then I've eased back into it with personal readings, and the gift is definitely still there. So I think there's some kind of merit to it because there's things that there's just, it blows my mind to this day to be like, okay, what if I just don't do it at all? And then as soon as I start doing it again, the readings are so accurate. Well, I think maybe I already mentioned this on stream, but there was a reading I did recently where I said two words that I thought I made up. I can't remember what they are now. And I looked them up in a translator, like Google Translate, detect language. And it was a language I'd never heard of in a place that I didn't know existed. And it was actual words that I channeled in the reading. So for me, oh, I forgot to change the category, y'all. I'm not doing that kind of reading. I'm doing tarot reading. My bad. My silly ass forgot to come back to tarot. No wonder so many people are lurking and not saying shit. They're like, what book is she reading? I'm not. My bad, y'all. We had to switch that up real quick. This is tarot mode. I'm sorry. I mentioned it. Forgot to change that. So at least I made that little book announcement that we would not be reading Sookie Stackhouse anymore. It's too long. The chapters are like 40 pages straight. And I'm like, yo, Charlene Harris maybe was a bigot. I don't know. Maybe she's still alive, still is a bigot. I have no idea, right? It was like, okay. But I think we'll read shorter, cooler stories from now on when I do reading mode. Um, so when I came back to tarot, I was very impressed that even when I cut it off completely for a month or maybe more, it's probably about a month, maybe a month and a half, that I could very easily still pick up on things and again know things that I just like couldn't possibly know any other way. Doing tarot, you know. So it's definitely a gift, and it's a gift that I have, and I think a lot of people misuse tarot cards. That's probably an unpopular opinion. I think it's very easy to misuse tarot cards, and a lot of it is very meaningless. But a real reader, which I would say, like myself, not to be cocky, but again, there's just things. I move people to tears when I do the tarot readings. I channel languages I don't even know are real. It's like okay, that's something. It was like bitterly and critically in some language spoken in a part of um, France or Spain. It's like where France and Spain meet. There's this very small area or their own country or something, and they speak their own form of the two languages mixed together, something like that. And I was just like saying it was like Ritiki and Ritiki or something like that, and I was repeating it, so I looked it up. It was critically and bitterly in a language I'd never heard of. It was so wild. So I know that my tarot game is still on point, even if I take breaks, even if I don't do it for a while. It's always been like that for the past, I don't know how long I've been doing this now, 10 plus years, 11 years. Um, so my spirituality, although it was in question, because I wasn't sure how I felt about any of it, because sometimes you get too far in. It's like Alice, right? I got lost behind the looking glass. And now that I'm looking in the mirror, now that I've shattered the mirrors, I can see, you know, that there's still something there. There's still a way I was always doing this and why I've done it for so long, even when I take breaks. So, that being said, um, hi. Y'all, Polaroid Boy put out an album, I think yesterday. So I just said this week earlier. How you doing? I'm gonna try to get it up on YouTube at least, because that's like the easiest for people who are supposed to. Are you on YouTube, regular YouTube? Because I was listening to it on YouTube Music. I only got halfway through the album. I think I left off on Before I Fall, but I think that's also my favorite. And Pink Skies, really good too. It kind of looks like you might not be on here yet. Huh? Me, which Virgo, ladies and gents. No, it is on here. Okay, found it. Here we go. Sharing the album with y'all. Whoa, sorry about that. Here we go. Brother Boy dropped an album someday this week. I think it was yesterday. Maybe it was 2 days ago. I don't know. Okay. All plates um, was here. Halloween is still here. Dios de los Muertos is tomorrow. That's why I'm having a Halloween special book in the next 24 hours at a discounted price. The Halloween and Demon Oracles. Because even when I am not doing streaming, personal readings are always available. That's what I like to remind people. The prices are as marked on there, but they're $10 off right now because it's Halloween. And I love you guys. So before we get into tarot, lots of lurking tonight, but that's per usual and totally welcome here. Do y'all have anything else before we get into tarot mode? Um, any other thoughts, questions, really cool stories? Anybody chatting? Just like it's okay. I mean, I get it. People are busy. They just like put it on. Might listen along. Yeah. Well, you can tell us about your album, but you mentioned that maybe this isn't the sort of state you want to be typing on and on about your album, unless it is. Sure. Thank you for being here, by the way. Great to see you, even though I can't see you. Okay? Congrats on the album, baby. Um, oh, he is here. Um, Yeah. Very cool. Like I said, I think I got like halfway. So it was pretty good. I was getting ready to it. What? Tom, I'm so sorry. Yeah, me too. Mhm. I like that you write a lot of love songs, huh? I didn't know. It's almost hard to tell with how fucked up they are that you write a lot of love songs. And I think that they have always been meaningful, even if you are questioning your source of inspiration. As you mentioned to me, that you were leaning towards incorporating spirituality in music, not to put you on blast. But oh my God, how do you know he died and that it got hacked? That is so fucked. What the fuck? That's so fucked up. I'm so sorry. Yeah, that's pretty crazy to just not even know. Or like, why would anybody do that? And yeah, that is a head case mind fuck. 50 bizarre. Um, are people just quietly waiting? Yeah, I was gonna say, should we do tarot? But now you're saying there's a lag. Why is there a lag on this? Probably because I heard sirens and didn't make a sign of the cross. It might just be Australia. Is there a lag? I may have just been sitting really still because I was mourning for this situation more than the loss, just in case he's not lost. Just the whole situation being fun. Was I being really still? Is there a lag? Or was I just being frozen? Um, okay. So it's just Australia. Anyways, that really sucks, Tom. Sucks about your internet and your friend and whatever the fuck's going on with people being fucking weird, hacking people's shit and saying what. And RIP if he is, you know, but maybe there's hope he isn't. I don't know. Maybe that's fucked up to have hope. And I don't know. Sounds bad either way. Sounds pretty messy. Or you're going through that. Cheers, though, to everyone being alive and whatnot. That was a big part of the message today. The Halloween oracle I used for a collective message. I think what I'm going to do is, oh, that's fucked up that the trolls never stop. That's really messed up. I was thinking maybe it got hacked and they were saying it was dead, but the other way around for sure sounds like really, really depressing. People really don't have any other life but the control inside the boxes that they, you know, people feel entitled to a source that is, you know, paid for but run collectively. And not even that collectively when we have censorship and rules and guidelines and terms and services every time we use the internet, every time we use these apps. It's like it's wild. And some people, it's like all they have, you know. And they get so obsessed and experience power trips. Wow. I love that it's 11/11. Happy 11/11. And it's very sad that that's part of what they do. Holding people to the grave. Crazy. But to some point, you gotta ignore it and just kind of focus on what was or who they were and their own, rather than what these trolls are doing. I hope it was really his son that reached out to mourn the loss. I can't like pour this out right now, but cheers to fellow streamer. May he rest in peace. And to all of us, my favorite cheers, this one I came up with. My favorite cheers for any occasion, maybe especially this kind, is for those we've loved and those we've lost and those we keep at any cost. Cheers, y'all. The clowns in Hollow Weird for Halloween. Kind of an appropriate time for it. This one's for you, Chris. We're streaming for Chris tonight. I'm imagining his hair. Not emo, but almost emo like with a curl. Maybe dark brown. I don't know why. Or if that's really him, I don't think about it. It's too soon. We're not doing all that right now. But that's I can just picture a Chris maybe. Um, but I have no idea who that is. So, oh yeah, and Lil Peep's birthday. We just keep cheersing, bro. Imagine if we were drinking alcohol. This is just like watered down coffee that I made from this morning and heated up with hot water, right? Um, Imagine if we were drinking alcohol, we would have taken so many shots by now. One for Lil Peep, you know what I'm saying? One for Lil Peep. Happy birthday, Lil Peep. Um, cool. I missed you all very much. This is something I enjoy doing. Camaraderie and honor. I love it. I forget that I enjoy what I do sometimes. I get overwhelmed by it, but it's been a topic of conversation. But I think the collective reading I did today was pretty good, and I kind of want to speak on it because it halfway through it took a turn and stopped being about tarot. It was more about what's kind of going on in the world. It was odd for me. It's not odd for me, but it was odd that during the tarot reading I did that. But there's a heavy lesson to it, an extremely heavy lesson to it, and that's to never stop letting go of the world around us, even as we hold on to the world in front of us. It's very hard to be grieving losses and also be fully present and joyous as we need to be. So it's just the balance that life has always been. But it seems that the extremes get more and more extreme, right? Or we go through phases and eras as humans in which it is extreme or becomes extreme for someone or another, or it has been extreme for people for a long time, right? And us becoming hyper aware of the situation has made it more extreme for anyone who becomes complicit to atrocity, right? Oh, it got heavy, didn't it? And I was like, whoa, I don't want to talk about it. Yeah, nobody does. Uncomfortable stuff. So the collective reading was the Halloween oracle. I didn't do a channel message from the deceased like I do sometimes, but rather did a shadow self reading. And again, I think it was a pretty good message. I admitted I smoke little mini cigars like cigarettes, my clothes. It is Halloween. And yeah, gotta honor what is Halloween. Let's have fun. Let's be celebratory. Let's enjoy what we have. You never know when you might not have it anymore. We see what people do to others and just take what's theirs and say, it's mine. And then say, leave or I'll kill you. And then not even give you time to leave. Um, Crazy. Listen, listen, we don't have to get into it. But there's a balance required in all of us. to acknowledge what horrible things transpire, especially in order for us to have the life that we do and question how much of it is worth in many, many, many ways and enact the changes that we need to grow larger change in ourselves every single day. And acknowledging it is the first step, just like if you're talking about the stages of grief, right? This is like the stages of awareness. The first is acknowledging, and the last is still acceptance, right? And somewhere in there is power, and somewhere in there is love, and somewhere in there is key, okay? Those are probably the five stages of awareness, right? Or whatever I said, I don't remember already. I don't want to think of this as babbling, but it's once again, we tread lightly on heavy subjects because we're trying to be good girls on the internet, trying to be grown people over here, not trying to get too political or controversial or hate on anybody in particular. However, there are some things that are just blatantly right and wrong. So, anyways, we are chilling until I pull out the Reiki deck. I have a Reiki deck now. I don't do Reiki. I'm not a Reiki master. Probably never will be. But I got this deck from a Reiki master, so it's the Reiki deck, and Reiki is all about energy work. So this deck is, I almost said crucified for some reason. Somebody thinking about Jesus, I'm very much like Jesus. Jesus was also a necromancer, and that's what I do: talk to dead people, reanimate their lives, see them in my mind's eye. That is the gig. Me and Jesus, yes. Someone who's clutching their crucifix right now. Yeah, me and Jesus are tight. We're a lot alike. You'd be surprised. Selflessness is not always a good thing. That's what we're supposed to learn from the martyrs, right? Fight for your life, don't fight for your death. They died. No, don't do it. Do not want to be crucified for your beliefs, right? That's what I had to learn the hard way. When I started to talk too much to Jesus and realize I don't want to be like Jesus. Hard to be a holy man because you're like, damn, not everybody likes holy men, do they? No, they don't. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. That's interesting. Okay, hell yeah, though. That's cool. I hope that what I'm saying is like peaceful for you. And if you gotta go, you gotta go. But we're here for you, bro. And we're really proud of you. And really, really glad to hear your music. It's cool. Like I said, I only got halfway through, but I like it so far, and those are my two favorites. Pink Skies and Before I Fall. Does anybody, are we ready for what are we thinking? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We like chat mode? I don't know what else to talk about. I started talking about colonization and stuff, and I'm trying not to get too rowdy on here. That's why we switched to reading, but I couldn't help it. I'm like, no, I still got shit to say, and I still have these beliefs, so whatever. I have to be who I am and not just pretend like I am here to read books. We're not. We're here to read everything. We might still read some books though. Okay. Um, no, but you know what's funny? I thought about that a lot too. And do you remember how that happened? Were you there that night? I was reading Be Here Now out loud for the first time I've ever read it. And he was calling these men holy men. But what he described is exactly what I do, right? And so I was like, oh, I'm one of them. No shit. That they make jokes and make fun of you and tease you, right? Dom, you can attest to that more than literally anybody on this stream. And then they talk to your deceased relatives or whomstever. Like, okay, Polaroid Boy can attest to that. And then send you on your merry way with with a better feeling and more healing. Just as many people have come to me and said that it has been that type of place for them to be on the stream. So it's funny because I agree. People don't like when you call yourself a holy man, but it's in the book. I am. Isn't that funny? And well, right. It's not that I claimed it. It's I read it, and a lot of people call me many things: tarot reader, psychic, witch. But in reality, the only thing that fits my description as well as it does as a sit down comedian who sits here and channels dead people was the holy men spoken of by Ram Dass. And that's who I refer to. Not in the sense of Jesus, but Jesus was also like a holy man, right? And that's what's kind of funny about it is because why do men make all the rules, anyways? If you know you have the gift, why not say it? And that's where it's like, ah, yes, I'm a heathen, which is why I'm still a hot woman. So, holy man, how I'm only half holy man. The other half is hot woman. They contradict, as we know, as we've discussed, because the hot woman is like, yeah, I'm a holy man, and the holy man is like, yeah, she's hot. Yeah, yeah. And I've never been one to care about indoctrination. Yeah, I think everyone's complicated. I think not everyone has such a 50-50 split as when you have the day walking and night walking going on simultaneously, right? Being one of those beings. But again, when I took the tea break and I said no spirituality for a month, just like no weed, nothing, said I'm gonna take a step back. What do I still believe in? I was like, yeah, none of it, none of it, none of it. And then I do tarot, and I'm like, oh damn, yes, I can believe in some of it. Definitely can believe in some of it. Sometimes you just get too deep, and it's like, how do I get out of it? And stop. But instead of straying away and turning your back to what you once believed, like Doreen Virtue reprimanded her own work and then returned to it once more and said she believed in it, returned again. You just wait or you denounce everything. Because I've made that mistake when I was 19, right? Denouncing things that I no longer aligned with and now hypocritically enough. I am a hypocrite and I've always, not, I wouldn't say I am a hypocrite. I think people naturally become hypocritical because they change. So I am someone who changes. I am someone who is pretty flexible, goes with the flow, but will um, acquire information, experience, and age, and realize that I was wrong about things. I have no problem being a hypocrite in that way. For example, I've been smoking them cigs, bro, admitting it out loud. I'm kind of a smoker right now. And I'm not always a smoker. I have a very toxic relationship with cigarettes. It's been off and on for like 15 years, right? Complicated. However, I don't like that I do it. I've always been the preacher saying you should quit. Those are bad for you, even though I have always been an off and on smoker because I think it's wrong to be killing ourselves. But the reality of it is, someone's got to kill us, isn't it? And that's pretty crazy to think that way too. Because it's like, couldn't you have a kinder, more peaceful death? I guess if you're lucky enough to die in your sleep. Why did that get so morbid? Because it's Halloween. Happy Dios de los Muertos. Is it midnight yet? Creepy. This is why I kind of took a break from streaming because I got sick of being so creepy. Being in tune and being able to tap in. Um, Being able to sense a dead person 6 degrees of separation. Called one out in reading. It was irrelevant ish. Just wild stuff that I'm doing tarot and more. So I've kept my practices to a minimum, but the gift definitely works for itself. You don't turn that off, really. You can power it down, but you don't turn it off. I think that's what I've learned in the past couple months. That's why I'm back on here doing it because I said it's so exhausting. But honestly, reading was way more exhausting than doing therapy. fine. It's just about having limits and not probably having super long streams, right? Not doing too much, not doing a ton of channeling is key for me because that's going to be the most exhausting and that takes the most of my time and energy. And that's what gets me the most lost is not being able to tell what I'm channeling and scary stuff, huh? Yeah, like you have no idea. So many things to see, experience. Like it's a little too much when I get too, like we talked about, too lost in it. So I'm trying to come back and be able to share these practices with you all. But I think it's also about reserving some of my own inner workings to myself as well, because I'm all about free knowledge and sharing and teaching. However, I think that at some point, sharing and teaching too much just encourages people to try to imitate a practice that is all my own. And I don't know, it's not that I shouldn't be a teacher. I think people learn from me and I'm a teacher in that way, right? Um, but it's not always some kind of given, I'm more of a philosopher, don't you think, than just a straight up uh, teacher of the practice. I don't really teach tarot like that. That's why it's so expensive to learn from the thought deck channeling Aleister Crowley, because I don't really do it. It's only been a few people who really wanted that. It is available on my website. You gotta dig. Um, because it's intense. It's an intense practice that I do. It's not just like I went out and bought a deck of cards. The cards found me. And I think that's often how tarot works. And probably how it should work. And people who want to say, there's no gatekeeping in tarot, not a closed practice, probably just don't truly, deeply have the gift. Period. A lot of people who want to read tarot, not a lot of people read tarot. Okay? It's possible to use a deck and to get accurate cards and to guess and to read out of a book. For sure, you can do that, but that's not the same, in my opinion. This is just what I've learned, again, from taking the time off. It's like how fucking, honestly, in depth this gift is. And I questioned doing it because it seems so invasive to some extent. That's why I was like, damn, I really can blast people on stream, and I have been because it's like free range. That's how it felt. So I don't want to do that as much anymore either. When we do the collective reading, I hope it feels collective and good and like you could take it personally. However, I don't want to do personal readings on the stream still. All these reasons and more. So we got a lot of lurkers. And Dom's one of the only chatters, and Dom doesn't really like tarot, but it seems like the lurkers might just be waiting for me to do some tarot. It's hard to say. I know some are just away from keyboard, but should we should we do some cards yet? I think it's time to run these new deck, bust it out, see what it is. What are we thinking? Because at this point, I feel like I'm trying once more as I shift and navigate my spiritual practices. I'm shifting and navigating the stream. Reading Sookie Stackhouse was not the move. We're back to doing some tarot and maybe some reading too. But better, not better books, but more spiritually applicable books, as that's what people come here for. Um, and we're going to keep doing that, even though I did question it. It definitely helps with my own purpose, and it definitely is something that I've always enjoyed. So back to it. But yeah, okay, just lurkers tonight. I might start the tarot in a minute here, because it's quiet and you're all just kind of listening. So I'm probably gonna do it. Gonna roll some ads real quick. I can bust out tarot, and then maybe we can chat after, or I might just leave. Depends on how. It's the Reiki deck, as mentioned, gifted from a Reiki master. So it's going to be energy cleansing, what we need to get rid of energetically, so on and so forth. So let's take 3 minutes gather ourselves, make sure you've got water, and make sure you are as elevated as you want to be. And maybe you can grab a pen and some paper and jot some stuff down. Pencil works too, any color pen. You don't have to commit with black ink, right? Okay. Um, Always fun to journal or take notes. Because when this class is in session, um, your I would make a terrible actual teacher. I just want to point that out. I could never teach children, and I don't think I can handle being a college. So I, this is as close as it's going to get. This is your online underground undergrad. How about that? Spiritual masterclass, live action. Okay. Anyway, I'm just goofing because y'all are just. I'm gonna roll some ads. Get ready. Maybe light some incense. Do what you gotta do. We'll be back in 3 minutes to do a little bit of tarot. Cool, cool. Yeah. It's not unmuted yet. So, oh, wait. Yeah, we're in terror mode. Okay. Welcome. This is what we are getting. Whoa. Rid of. Hmm. This is going to be interesting. This is like, I've done a personal reading with these. This is the first collective message, and it's for all 6 of you. Thank you for being here, even if you are just listening. I appreciate. Oh, hello, 7. Finally in tarot. Got some cards on the table. I think we've got all the cards we need for now. I might use this deck for quite some time here. As busy. The Queen of Wands. At the bottom of the deck. So, getting rid of certain emotion. Okay. I'm sensing catastrophizing needs to be let go of, even though we were just talking about all the catastrophe in the world. We have to stop catastrophizing our lives because it is just manifesting greater issues, basically. The more we catastrophize our own lives, we have to, I don't want to say compartmentalize. I don't know if that's really the opposite, but there's just this need to let go of certain things, okay? So, what's interesting to me, because once more, I've only really done a personal reading with these, and this is what we're letting go of. So it's interesting because it might be time to let go of certain partners because we have the lovers here. This is also the Gemini card. Um, and so it can be a Gemini or it's about a decision, letting go of decisions and not making certain decisions right now or needing to make decisions. It could be pertaining to love or it could just be letting go of a certain or specific lovers, literally. We also have the moon. So this is like, again, the catastrophizing because the moon to me, it's the Pisces card, but it's also in my readings, it's the thought deck that really sealed this in for me, is thinking of best case scenario or your worst possible outcome. Like, okay, yes, these are some dark times, but through these dark times, I'll see through it by this guided light of the moon. So the moon, unlike the sun, which is just things looking bright and having that optimistic outcome and outlook, the moon is a bit, it's not pessimistic, but it's, going through the night, dark night of the soul kind of vibe, and being guided by the moon. So it's still a positive card, but I think this is really letting go of catastrophizing. And it could be in regards to decision making if you're someone who panics when having to make even simple decisions. And it can also be in regards to relationships themselves. So no more catastrophizing in those areas. And Two of Wands, it might be time to move. It might be time to let go of a domestic situation because that's how I see the Two of Wands in other cards. But it's also maybe letting go of looking back and seeing what was rather than what is. I just threw this in reverse. So sometimes, yeah, it might be a new living situation is required or called for at this time. We have the Knight of Swords here. So letting go of argumentativity, letting go of conflict, releasing burdens, but minding your tongue, minding your manners, right? Letting go of the cutthroat and maybe not working so hard. Somebody had to always say to me, work smarter, not harder, because I'm a very hard worker and it gets you virtually nowhere in life. That's why many people hire have seemingly less work to do. I think they work smarter, harder. Physical labor is necessary. really stuck, right? So if you are someone who does the most at work, it might be time to let up a little bit and let other people clean while you lean for once. You know what I'm saying? We're letting go of that hardcore coming in to save the day. We're letting that go right now. We're focusing on ourselves here, okay? We're letting go of victimization. See how the Eight of Swords she encapsulates in these swords that she could easily get out of, but just doesn't. She's just sitting there like I'm surrounded by swords, surrounded by conflict. We're letting that go, letting go of being the victim. And Nine of Swords, no more self torture, no more self inflicted wounds, no more mutilation if it's, we're letting that go. Now, this is interesting because we have cards in reverse. So here's the thing, these are pretty good cards in the upright, but also kind of like, okay, let go of this narrative. See it for what it is. Because if it's in the reverse, but these are all reversals, it's very like, wait, two negatives equal a positive. I don't know how that works. But we've got the Ten of Swords, the Star, the Queen of Cups, the Knight of Cups, and the Three of Swords, all in reverse. Let's talk about this in the upright, okay? Because in the upright, Ten of Swords, not great. The Star, Aquarius, pretty good card. Surprises, right? Ten of Swords is like everything falling apart and maybe falling onto you and becoming your responsibility while it falls apart around you, right? Um, but the Star is a surprise and it comes Aquarius season, right? We have the Queen of Cups and the King of Cups side by side here, and the Queen of Cups turning away, and the Three of Swords is heartbreak. Okay, so this is this idea of a relationship going south, right? But in the reverse, that would be something good. But we're talking about catastrophizing, talking about what we're letting go of. Letting go of the thought that it can be any other way, could be it, that there's any other outcomes to the situation if you are having to let go of a lover. But if you catastrophize and think the worst, then it's time to let go of having something that isn't that and thinking that it is, right? Because they were also in these separate categories. It's, I'm still working on how to read reversals with the letting go of deck. I guess you would let go of a, because if it's in reverse, then this would be a good situation, but it wouldn't be the King and Queen of Cups either. So it's like shifting perspective, but like no perspective. Yeah, and it's just very hard to two negatives equal positive, I guess. And the Hermit. So letting go of solidarity, letting up on the independence, letting up on hyper individuality. Okay. We have Nine of Cups, Six of Cups, the Wheel, and the Eight of Cups. So since this is everything we talked about letting go of, I think these cards are good enough to instill. The Nine of Cups is happiness. This is what you could be making way for when you let go of these other things. Six of Cups is feminine yonic pleasure. Okay, so shout out to the Wheel of Fortune, that wheel turning in your favor, and the Eight of Cups, walking away from what doesn't serve you or leaves you empty, leaving things behind finally, right? When you give yourself the chance to let go of things in your mind, it allows you to let go of the things in your life. The hanged man. Not everything that you're dedicated to is what you're meant to be dedicated to. And so, Knight of Pentacles, invest in yourself and let people invest in you. If you are willing to let go of what no longer serves you, then you will be filled with what does. Okay. Knight of Wands. At the bottom of the deck now, we just said Queen of Wands. Oh, here's Queen of Wands. I just got the deck. So this isn't necessarily a love reading, but this might be something to do with some passion here. We have the Emperor, Aries. So the masculine half of this reading, really, is how I would describe that. Because perhaps there is a lack of happiness for the masculine, but this need to let go of the hyper independence, right? Um, Something is blocking letting go of heartbreak, holding on to the heartbreak for no reason. You need to let go of heartbreak. Oh, because this is like the same thing. Looking at the Queen of Cups and King of Cups, it's time to stop. Because sometimes these are parental figures, right? So it's time to stop idolizing um, people like your parents or thinking there is an ideal relationship out there. Everyone's is different. The star in the world. Okay, so stop resisting things working out. You know, Page of Pentacles is a good time to invest. It's a good time to invest. Let go of your worries surrounding money because now is a good time to invest. Six of Swords, sorrow. Look, we're letting go of all this heartbreak. There's a lot of heartbreak to let go of. Queen of Swords, it's time to stop being combative. It's time to put the swords down. Eight of Pentacles, it's time to look up. If you've been working on yourself really heavily, it's time to implement some of those practices. And Seven of Pentacles, it's time to reap what you've sown. It's not time to do, it's time to reap what you've sown. The Magician, it's like, what are the manifestations? You have to let go of the things that you said you'd give up in order to get what you want. And look, we got the Nine of Wands in reverse. Again, what do reversals mean? Because in the upright, the Nine of Wands is looking a little stressed, but not a little nonchalant at the same time. So in the reverse, it would be like the non-nonchalantness that you have to give up, or realizing that you're at the point where you've given up the nonchalantness already. Maybe that's what this is about. I don't know the reversals yet. We'll figure it out as we go. But I like these cards. I hope y'all are vibing. The world flipping, turning. What are you willing to give up in order for what you want? What are you willing to give up in order for what you want? What are you willing to give up in order what you want? This one came out spinning too. The Empress in reverse. Are you willing to give up? The Emperor was in the upright over here earlier. Are you willing to give up the Empress in order to have the Empire? And can you truly have an empire without both the Emperor and the Empress? Is the question. I wonder, this isn't like a love reading, but it has love vibes, doesn't it? It's also within the masculine and feminine battle within. Um, and yeah, making peace with that. We got Two of Swords. You're at war within. Seven of Wands. Look how heavily guarded. Gotta let go of the guardedness. If something is new that you're embarking on. These cards on its side, we have Strength, Leo, the High Priestess, the Five of Wands, the Hanged Man, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Ten of Swords. It looks like everything works out, and then in the end, it doesn't. Isn't that interesting? But it doesn't have to go that way. You can let it all go and never experience heartbreak, or you can lean into it and have the strength to move through, and see it the whole way. And know that the Wheel of Fortune will come, but it may not be everything. It may be a lot of more stress than you think, right? You already know that things may slow down, but there's a lot of dedication, and the Wheel of Fortune will turn, and eventually it might be just too much. It's up to you to decide whether or not you're going to let that go. Okay? I feel like we got what we needed from these cards. yeah. These cards are good. Good read. I like these. All right. And that's going to conclude the tarot for the evening. Probably going to take a quick 3 minutes myself. Do chat mode for a little bit and then call it a night. 111 on the timer. And if they wait another few seconds, it's going to be 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 11 seconds. Very nice. And with that, I will be returning to chat mode for a few, but not a guarantee for how long. So, right after these little commercials, we will be back with a chat. Okay, back chat. And just like that, I think we're going to be wrapping it up, y'all. A nice little stream we snuck in here. I wasn't expecting to stream, but I've been missing it lately. And I decided I wasn't doing anything else this evening. I might as well do the stream. You like my necklace? It's mammalian. Just noticed it was caught on. Anyway, any last minute questions, send offs, whatever. Don't drink your water. How we doing? Ready to go? We're down to just lurkers. Oh, thank you. Welcome back to you too. I was gonna chat for a few before I left, but it's very quiet, so it's crazy how we used to start our streams at midnight. Now they end at midnight. I'm gonna chat for a little bit more, but I don't want to just ramble right away. So if we're just if people are just listening for me, right? Really, I guess I could consider type. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Get that by. Just been a lot of lurkers tonight. Not you, lurker. You're not a lurker. You're just a friend who was tuning in. I appreciate you. You always say something if no one else is, and that's the difference between you. So, anyways, if you want to rewatch the reading, or you can watch the collective Halloween oracle I did today. I might do zodiac readings in the next coming days. I want to start doing zodiac readings. Um, so I'm gonna try to do them tomorrow if I can. Oh, and I've been doing daytime tarot, even the personal, during the day because I'm kind of a day walker now. So if you want, now that I'm leaving, you can watch the stream. And I mean, it's not a stream. It felt like a live stream. I felt like I was talking to an audience. That's what inspired me to stream tonight. Is I was like, damn, making a video makes me miss streaming. That was nice. I hope there's more chatters next time, but I appreciate the few of you that popped in here. And I appreciate the people who watch, even if they have nothing to contribute. It's not their job to, it's mine. Consider subscribing with stream so that I continue to do it. And feel free to watch the replay if you're just tuning in for the Halloween Oracle reading I did yesterday, and be on the lookout for some Zodiac readings pretty soon here over on YouTube. I can't say when I'll be streaming again, but it'll more than likely be pretty soon and not be as big of a gap between because honestly, it was the reading that was slowing us down. So we're just gonna cut that out or change books. I'm so sorry to Sookie Stackhouse. It is just not happening. We are just not going to be finishing that. It takes too long and it's too much critique and it's just the same little story. And it was a lot to maintain that accent without a break. I ain't even gonna lie to you because just talking that much straight is a lot, but then talking that much straight in an accent, it was a whole lot of something else too. Wasn't taking enough breaths doing it. So 40-page chapters, no thank you, ma'am. I think we're gonna have to pass on Pom Pom. That is not what this stream is for. Just ain't got the time for it. So we're gonna probably read the Bhagavad Gita, or I don't know if I'm saying Gita, but I don't know. We'll figure it out when we start it. So one of my next coming streams will be that. Maybe we'll do a little more tarot, but again, I'm trying to stay away from channeling too much. I am having a sale for the next 4 hours. The Halloween Oracle and the Demon Oracle is on special, $10 off. Prices as marked on my website. So you can book a personal 24 hours from the moment you, if only if you're watching it live. Basically through the second on special for Halloween. Halloween, All Souls Day, All Saints Day, Dios de los Muertos. So check that stuff out. I'm gonna go and reel y'all. I'm about to play more ads because, Jeff Bezos. But I am leaving. So don't stick around. Love you all. Good night and good luck. Ladies, gents, stays and thems, thank you. Good night and good luck. See you next time. Follow me on Instagram if you want to know when. See you later.